Scorpio, Sun, Moon and Rising. What's up, guys? Hope you're doing well. We're going to do a love reading today, taking a look at what is going on with the person you were dealing with. Remember, though, it is a general reading, so it won't be for everyone, unfortunately. So take what resonates and leave the rest. However, if you are interested in personal readings, I have a half-price sale on at the moment. A link for that is in the description box below. And apologies if my voice still sounds weird or I end up having to cough. I've spent most of the last 2 weeks with a chest infection, which is still not gone. But anyway, let's get into your reading, Scorpio. Overall energy of the reading is the 10 of Cups. So we're definitely looking at a connection here with someone that you've been dealing with for quite some time. But with the main focus here of the Emperor in reverse, Aries energy, either there's been some issues to do with control, or someone's kind of ego getting in the way of the connection and what is taking place. There's a little bit of selfish energy there, or someone who has maybe been focused on their own needs, their own wants. Potentially as well, someone who could have been very stubborn. It's kind of like it's my way or the highway. There's a forceful energy there with whoever we're dealing with, but because of the overall energy being the 10 of Cups, it looks like it's moving in a positive direction. But there could be something here that someone has really been digging their heels in, or about something that they want, or that they've kind of not been putting a focus on the connection. It's that kind of energy of me versus we. Let's see what is showing up in the blocks and challenges. We've got the 7 of Swords in reverse. Someone as well may not have been very conscious of how they, and may have been lacking personal accountability of how their actions or their absence with the 7 of Swords in reverse has been causing the other person to feel in this situation. There's a feeling there of feeling kind of emotionally disconnected. Someone as well kind of lacking emotional intelligence in the situation. And then we've got the King of Wands, Leo energy. Definitely an ego or self-centered energy, not to the degree of someone being a narcissism, but someone who has, because there feels like there's an energy, I'll see what comes out in their intentions and actions. There feels like there is an energy of someone moving into accountability for themselves, and also starting to be considerate of the other person, which I'm reading as being the energy towards you guys. But they've maybe been a little bit kind of focused on themselves or selfish. And I guess none of us are kind of perfect, and we all maybe do things we regret. Could be some things here as well with the 7 of Swords in reverse that they've just been refusing, but because it's in reverse, that they've been refusing to acknowledge or see from your end. There's kind of a hanged man light bulb moment feeling to it, though. Their intentions are the 4 of Pentacles. We've got the Moon card in reverse. That's a little bit of a mixed bag. The energy is trying to move back to this 10 of Cups. However, there is an energy here where there's regret and remorse, and they do kind of understand how their energy has been affecting you in the situation. but they're maybe trying to reconcile or get back to this Ten of Cups energy whilst still downplaying their part a little bit in the situation, trying to get back to that point of stability. But there's still something here that they're, because of the Seven of Swords in reverse and the Moon card in reverse, they're holding back a little bit or not fully accepting, fully taking accountability. But with both of those being in reverse, it's like a process that they are doing or starting to accept. But I feel like there's an energy there of trying to brush it under the carpet a little bit. Their actions are the Lovers, Gemini energy, trying to focus on moving forward, and then the Knight of Wands here as well, Sagittarius energy. So there is a conversation here which is focused towards that Ten of Cups. The thing I dislike, and particularly because that's showing up in the Emperor in reverse, it's like half accountability or half acceptance of the situation, where they're kind of acknowledging their role in the situation, but try and how that's been negatively impacting you and the connection, but they're trying to downplay it a little bit, and they're trying to just push the energy forward more quickly towards this Ten of Cups. Where does that energy then go? That was upright. We've got the Ten of Pentacles, and the Devil. Okay, so the positive side of things, this is definitely someone you've been dealing with for some time. But the connection or energy between the two of you has been going through a little bit of a disconnected place, where either they're too focused on themselves, there's a bit of disconnection between the two of you, and some things here that they've not been wanting to acknowledge about how their selfishness or their actions has been negatively affecting you and the situation. On the positive side of things, this person wants to make it up to you, and they want to move towards that Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups. However, there is still some stuff here that they're trying to just sort of brush under the carpet a bit and rush forward towards that Ten of Cups energy of like, they may not be giving you sort of enough time to, because the very rushed energy of trying to move things forward and just get it back in a good place, particularly if you're kind of like, no, I need to talk about this more, we need to like identify the issue, what's going on. They're more like, no, it's cool, let's just move forward and forget about it. So there is still, although the energy is moving to a much more harmonious place between the two of you, there is still some potential skeletons in the cupboard or something underlying this that we need to be careful because of that Devil energy, Capricorn. If we don't fully identify with and deal with a problem, and we just try and rush things back to this more harmonious energy without really overcoming the obstacle or creating the more positive change that we need to, that residual energy that hasn't been resolved can have a tendency to come back up again and manifest in a more negative way. So although it's moving towards a good place between the two of you, there are maybe some deeper conversations that still need to be had, but this person clearly is kind of seeing their future with yourself, Scorpio. However, I would just make sure that the actual issues are really being acknowledged and dealt with and not just pushed below the surface so we can get to this 10 of Cups and 10 of Pentacles. Anyway, guys, that is your reading. I hope you enjoyed it and it resonated. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Remember, though, it is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. However, if you are interested in personal readings and want some specific information and answers to your own individual situations, you can check out the seal in the description box below. Cheers.